Ash Pollard, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm so excited to speak to you. I feel like
Stop it.
I've been following you for a while now. And for those listening, Ash has a career in radio and TV and keeps it massively real about parenthood. And this is why we love you, because you bring us the real deal. I feel like, is that always been part of your personality? Like no BS?
I think so. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or not, because often when I was younger, I got into a fair bit of trouble for having that no filter sort of situation. My mouth goes before my brain. So in the end, it's actually made me a bit of money, which has been a blessing in disguise.
Right.
But I'm quite aware that, I'm probably a second away from being cancelled. I hope today's not that day.
I do feel as well, though, that is what people resonate with. That's how people are memorable, by hearing the unfiltered version, right?
Well, I'm just sick of how social media and Instagram is just pushing all of this curated content. Yeah. It's not me, but like amazing for those people who I enjoy watching that, but I get more out of reality. And I think it just grounds me more as a viewer and consumer of socials, but also as a giver, as an influencer and as a content creator. It's easier for me. It's far less fucking time, let me tell you, to be curating the content. And it's just easy to be real.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to give a shout out to a mutual friend of ours.
Oh, do tell.
So Beck from Sports Massage with Beck.
Yes.
So we love her. Well, I personally have a lot of respect for her. She's my remedial masseuse.
Mine too.
Yes. And so
hi, Beck.
Hi, Beck.
She'll be very glad
She's
to
very
hear this.
excited to hear this episode that she's
Well, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here.
That's exactly right. So love that. Now, I want to start with something so real that you brought to Channel 7 during an interview in 2022, right? And I feel like this encapsulates, I know, I'm springing this on you now, encapsulates a lot of what I'd like to speak about today. So you say, when you have no sleep, your relationship can really struggle. Your friendships struggle. And also at the moment, I don't really know who I am. I'm not who I was. I'm not the person that I thought I was because I'm not able to be, but I go through a day. Oh, sorry, butcher that. I'm not the person that I thought I was because I'm not able to go through a day like I used to be able to. So there you are really talking about the change in identity, the change in your lifestyle, the change in everything since motherhood. Do you remember saying that quote?
Yes, and I have probably said it a million times after that as well, because that is something that you battle with. I mean, not everybody does, but some people do. After you have a child, you think, I'll just snap back and be the person who I was before, but you're never going to be that person because now you're this new person. Yeah. And I think the dance for me, becoming that new person, was really complicated, and I wasn't aware of that. Both of my kids were surprises. But even if I knew and was preparing myself to be a mother, I still don't think the preparation would have set me up to experience what motherhood is and how you can kind of move away from what you identified as yourself. Does that make any sense?
It does. Why do you think it was so complex for you?
I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, like complete control freak. Yeah. And I was on a trajectory with my work and my relationship. Yeah. I hadn't yet actually lived with Pete in his house. So we'd been together for 4 years, but I'd been working in New South Wales and he was here in Melbourne. So every weekend I would come back to Melbourne to be with him, and that's the extent of our cohabitation together. So I didn't know what it was like to live with him, and I was, trying really hard to make my career take the next step in radio. Yep. And then the kids came out of nowhere. I mean, not really. Obviously we had sex and they happened, but you know what I mean. And and COVID happened at the very same time. So all of that put together was quite a shock. And it has taken me 4 years to be okay with this new me. And this new me is awesome. I have never felt, it is crazy. When you have a kid, you feel so discombobulated, so out of body, so insecure. There's so much dislike for the person that you are, still holding on to moments of the person that you were. Yep. But now the person that I am, I feel good in this person. I feel confident. You know, I am surviving these little kids, you know, like they are still alive. Yeah. And I'm working. And that's all me. Like I did all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much. Like I'm not a brain surgeon or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not a scientist. It's not that crazy, but still it's what I'm capable of.
Yes.
I'm not capable of being a doctor. I'm not capable of being a scientist, but those things, even if they're small for somebody else, are big for me, and I feel that I feel better in myself now. It just took time.
Tell us about a really rock bottom or just overwhelming experience that you had when the children were little. Where did you have moments of just like, what WTF, like what have I just got to myself? Talk to us about that experience.
2 weeks after my first daughter, Clementine, was born, my parents told me they were separating, and I was just like, what the hell? That came out of absolutely nowhere, like totally out of nowhere. And COVID, we were locked down. So I was dealing with the separation of my parents, a brand new baby, lack of sleep, and isolation from the world. And that was bad. So all of that together was shocking. Yeah. And then 4 months, she was 4 months old. Yeah. So 4 months after she was born, I fell pregnant with Claudette. So then I'm still seriously sleep deprived. I don't even know how and why I had sex in that 4 month period, because like who does?
Whose idea was that?
Yeah. Listen, that was an immaculate conception. So I didn't know which problem to deal with first. Do I deal with the divorce of my parents? Do I deal with my sleep deprivation? Do I deal with the COVID situation? And then because I was on mat leave, work was also trying to say, when are you going to come back to Sydney? And I'm like, well, I don't think I'm going to do that, but I don't want to quit my job and I don't want to lose my job because I'm still trying to get somewhere in radio. Yeah. So I was frantic. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. My parents are no longer together and I've got a baby on the way, another baby. It took me a long, long time to come out of that darkness, and it got darker when the second one was born, Claudette. It got really dark because I was still chasing my tail for sleep. My relationship was breaking down with my partner, Pete, because we were just stuck in Groundhog Day. Yeah. He was going to work a lot. My family don't live here. His parents aren't around either. So I was just doing it alone. And something had to give, and I thought, I'm going to spend some money on getting a night nurse. Heaps of people get these night nurses. Okay. I had never heard of them. Yeah. But every man and his dog's got one, let me tell you. And if they say they don't, they're lying. Every influencer has got one.
Talk us through
because how the fuck are they looking so glam?
Yes.
They're lying to you. I'm telling you. So I got a night nurse that came 2 nights a week, and she would just allow me to have blocks of sleep. I was selling stuff on Marketplace to afford this lady, desperate times. Yeah. I was just getting it done. Yeah. That gave me some relief. Then I checked into Masada, which is the sleep school that everybody talks about. If you're a Masada mum, you know you have a connection with another Masada mum.
So I knew I liked you.
Yeah, okay. Well, we've got that connection. Yeah. So I checked in. I did that with Clementine, my first one. Yeah. Second time, I went with Claudette when she was only 3 months old. Oh, wow. And that was purely for me. They took her from me so that, I could have bigger blocks of sleep because I was starting to lose it. I was getting bad, quite ill in the head, very dark thoughts. Therapy wasn't working for me. Okay. And I really didn't want to go on medication. I am on meds now and it has completely changed my life.
What was the tipping point?
When I just was so incredibly sad all the time, and then so incredibly mad over not much, and then furiously anxious over very little.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't bear it anymore. And everything I was doing at my therapist wasn't working. It was a slow burn. I'm impatient, as I said.
Yeah.
Total control freak.
Did you notice immediate changes? What was it like?
It was a bit gross going on it to begin with. Okay. I had to dabble with a few medications, and that's annoying in itself because you kind of have to come onto the drug, and so your brain is a bit skewy in the first few days to a couple of weeks. And first medication didn't work for me, but the second one was great. And honestly, the fucks I give, Leonie, nil.
Wow. So it just takes the edge off.
Totally.
Okay.
I did try CBD oil.
Oh, yes.
At one point.
Yeah.
Needed something more hardcore.
Okay.
Yep.
Didn't penetrate.
Yeah, that wasn't working.
Yeah, right.
But it can work for some. It just depends how your brain operates. I'm a type A person.
Yeah.
I'm just full on.
Yeah.
So I needed something a bit more stronger.
Yeah. Did you notice leaps and bounds in your relationship at that point too? Talk to us about the relationship because as you said at the start, you guys hadn't even lived together and now you've gone to 2 kids together. Like what did it look like?
It was, it worked.
Yeah.
And because we were older, we were in our mid-30s, Pete and I, and although he'd been a bachelor for quite so long, it probably was a little bit more difficult for him, but it's fine for me. Like it was cool. And we took to it. We did a lot of work though, and we still do. We have a therapist, both of us together, and I feel like things have gotten worse as the kids have gotten older because now we're stuck in ways that we got stuck in before and forget to get ourselves out of. Plus now our work is more full on. So we're both working. It's really a matter of juggling and checking in because if you're not checking in and communicating, then it's going to fall to pieces. And that is what we are both guilty of is the not checking in. Straight away once the kids have gone to bed, sitting on the couch, turning on the Netflix. You actually have to make time. It is so annoying and it is such hard work.
Yes.
I've got a headache thinking about it, but you've just got to check in.
Yeah.
And I've posted this a few times on my Instagram, these amazing cards. It's a deck of cards where you can work through the duties, the household duties that you and your partner can do together so that you as a female aren't carrying this friggin' mental load and wanting to just stab your partner in the eyeball because they think that you're not, what's this mental load? Well, mate, every time Pete says, what do you got? Come on, tell me. I can't even list it. But I know it's there,
right. And do you think it's the resentment that
they're called fair play cards? Fair play cards.
Yes.
And also the Gottman app have an amazing deck of cards in there where you can sit down and ask each other questions from this deck of cards in that app.
Oh, is that right? Oh, good. Yeah, good hot tips.
Just good ways of connecting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like, to answer your question, that helps the connection and communication.
Because that resentment just continues to build and then you both can't see the wood for the trees.
It's easy to communicate, right? But it's really hard not to get defensive. Yeah. And if you're going to get defensive during the communication, well, fucking
it's
good luck
to unproductive.
You. Yeah. And then you're back and forth, just both digging the hole.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress.
It is. What did it take you? Was there a moment in time where you're like, no, we need a third party to support us here? What did it take you to get to therapy?
The fact that I just knew we were getting nowhere in our own discussions and arguments, like round and round in circles, round and round in circles.
Yeah.
It was just frustrating the shit out of me. I'm exhausted. I don't want to fight with you.
Yeah.
Like
we're already bloody tired.
Oh.
We're already just surviving.
And then the annoying thing is you got to spend more money on that, Just like what is that?
In these ones.
Honestly.
Everywhere you look, like cost of living.
Disgusting. I bought these Gucci shoes.
Yeah.
And Pete's like, what the fuck are you doing that? We need that money for therapy. And I'm like, bitch, I need these for my mental health.
No, That's the best.
Yeah.
So you said, interestingly, and I think I love your honesty here. It ebbs and flows. Like you were good and then it's a bit shit now or whatever, and then you'll go. So what do you think, like, will you continue to
It'll never be perfect.
It will never be perfect.
Stop searching for perfection.
100%. Enjoy each other's imperfections, I think is really where we have to end up. Do you continue to go to therapy, or is it just kind of ad hoc? How does it work?
Nah. Look, we did do ad hoc initially, but you don't get anything out of it.
Okay.
You really do have to commit to going fortnightly or every 3 weeks or whatever for a time until you get into a routine and you get used to that way of being together. Yep. And I'm very much all about the Gottman Method. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. No. They're a husband and wife team. It's their surname.
Yep.
And their methodology really rings true for me. I can't summarize it for you, but I feel like it's, of all of the techniques, it's just the most real and relatable.
Yep.
Gottman, look them up. You know, if you've got issues, they're amazing.
Yeah, that's a really good hot tip. I want to know, as we travel this, journey that is parenthood, you mentioned at the start really struggled with identity, as we've spoken about, and then you mentioned now you're kind of at a really good place from an identity perspective. What was the tipping point? How did you get there? Kids getting older? What is it, do you reckon?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Maybe the drugs.
Yeah.
The zero fuck drugs, I like to call them. Look, I just think it comes with age and you realise over time, certainly when you have children, what your priorities are. And your priorities aren't necessarily what somebody else thinks about you. And that, again, I do believe comes with age because you realise what's important in your life as you get older. And it's not what someone thinks about you when you're walking around in your bathers at a public pool. Yeah. Because when are you ever going to see that person again?
True.
And how is their opinion going to impact your life when you walk away here? It's not. Yeah. And I would never, I know what my imperfections on my body is and what my insecurities are about my body. Yeah, I've got insecurities. I don't like getting into bathers in front of other people. But I still go so we are all different. And really, this is so naff, but really it's what's inside that counts and what is your impact in the world, not your fucking non-cellulite thighs.
Right. Do you think, and it's interesting you say that, becoming so content within yourself, do you think it's because of your public profile that you felt an added level of pressure because you had all these other opinions from all these other people? Was that a thing for you?
Not really.
Okay.
I was always worried about saying the wrong thing.
Okay.
Not what I looked like.
Yeah.
I don't really have a huge insecurity about my looks or anything. Yep. It's mostly about what I'm striving to do.
Right.
I have that imposter syndrome, if you will. Yeah. That's the most annoying thing because I know I can do great things. Yeah. I just think, what if I'm going to fail at that? I just probably shouldn't do it in case I stuff up. That's my issue.
It's so relatable and it's so funny because from a third party perspective looking at you, I would never think
I know that.
at
it's
all.
It's cooked, isn't it?
Isn't it? But I appreciate the authenticity here because it's huge for so many of us.
It's seriously frustrating. Yeah. And annoyingly, I need somebody else to push me off the edge to get going.
Yeah.
I need someone to say to me, this is what you're going to do. You're going to be fucking fine. Yeah. Off you go. And I'm not paying someone to tell me that, by the way. I don't need a fucking life coach. I just need somebody else who I think has been successful, whatever that may be, to just go, your idea's great.
Yeah.
Do it.
Give yourself permission, right?
I don't know. Why do I need that other person? That's dumb.
Oh, it resonates with me so much. It's amazing. Very similar personalities.
It's like eating my own words here, kind of. Giving advice but then going completely against it.
That's life and that is. I think so many people listening could resonate with that because we often look at others to be like, is that okay? Can I actually go and pursue my dream, or is it okay if I say this because that's really how I do feel,
Well, I think that just comes back to sort of my childhood and seeking permission there, moving on into the career of entertainment where you constantly are trying to prove yourself and trying to prove your worth in the industry, where there are so many other people who are 10 times better than you, and keeping in mind that I was just a flog from reality TV, you know, like people would frown upon people like us. Oh, she's got no talent. What's she doing? Just cooking some shit meals on television. But you know what I mean? You know, and then you've got the likes of like fantastic Sandra Sullys and who are actually amazing and knowledgeable. And then me, who's just like, I'm cooking this on MKR.
But I feel like it's funny though, because like other people would look at you with that lens that you looked at, you know, like as in the, you know, that aspirational lens, right? But it's how we view ourselves that I think is really interesting at times.
And maybe that's what makes me relatable too, is that I don't think that I'm, you know.
Yes, 100%.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just Ash Poll.
Yeah. No, we love you for it. To wrap up, I'd love to know, I ask all of my guests this final question. How has parenthood changed you as a person?
Well, my tits are on the floor from breastfeeding. That has what has changed me. I have never been more tired in my entire life, but I have never known a love like it. You know, my heart has expanded twofold, and I didn't realise I could be so patient, because children bring that out in you. They bring the best and worst out in you.
Yes.
And I was never a patient person, but I've learnt that I actually can be if I try.
Yeah, no, I love that. What would you like to share with our audience? What's next for you?
Look, I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I did say to you before we pushed record that I've just hired somebody to help me jazz up my content. So I really want to bring content to my followers that's fun, funny and interesting, because I don't have a lot of time for that at the moment. Is that an issue?
Yeah, that's right.
They wouldn't. Yeah. I just want to bring more light-hearted content to my platform and make people happy. I just love having a laugh.
Yeah.
And listen, if someone happened to ask me to be on telly again, I wouldn't say no.
There we go. Watch this space, everyone.
Watch it. I'm not going on maths. But listen, if Pete did break it off with me, I might have to consider it.
I reckon you'd have Channel 9 calling you for sure. Thank you so much, Ash, again for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.